just 2 more rotations to go there. There are truly not enough words or superlatives to pay off the success Trinity Thomas has had during her career. She is the definition of an all-around athlete, but she does have the most amount of 10s on floor. So we decided to do a deep dive to figure out why her routine is so special and why floor is just so tough.
There's no greater mark to a gymnast than having an iconic floor routine. Trinity Thomas does just that, and she puts her body through immense pressure while doing so. Trinity's first pass during her floor routine is truly remarkable, with her double layout being the most difficult skill. It takes Trinity 5.5 seconds to complete this first pass, and she's in the air for 2 of those seconds. During the takeoff of her double layout, the forces on her calf and ankle muscles can measure upwards of 14 times body weight. What makes her tumbling so fascinating is that even after this first flip, she continues to rise into the air for her second one. And the landing is just as impressive, as her legs are absorbing upwards of 18 times her body weight in ground reaction forces. In her second pass, Trinity does a front full to a front layout. As she's tumbling, there may be upwards of 11 times her body weight in compression forces going through her legs. Floor is truly one of the greatest displays of a gymnast's strength, power, and technique, as it can produce some of the highest forces recorded across all sports, around 23 times body weight. It's truly incredible what Trinity and all other gymnasts are able to do.
So even though these athletes make it look so fun and so easy, it's actually really hard on your body, which is why it's even more impressive that almost a quarter of Trinity's NCAA floor routines have been a 10. We all know she thrives under pressure and is arguably one of the best competitors of all time. Check it out. She's ranked top 4 in the NCAA history for total career 10s. But in comparison to the other gymnasts that she's behind, she's the only one to have a 10 on every event, which is, like Bart mentioned earlier, what we call a gym slam. She just needs 4 more 10s to break the overall record. But for now, Florida is heading to floor, and Oklahoma will be on beam. Big rotation. It's coming up next.
Bucks. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern over on ABC and the app. Here we are at the halfway point with these two teams separated by less than 1/10 of a point. Even after that scary fall on vault for Victoria Wynn, Florida had a season high on vault because remember, 6 athletes compete. You count just the best 5 of those 6 scores towards the team total, and it appears that she's okay as the Oklahoma Sooners go to one of their signature events. KJ Kindler giving a few notes to Jenna Dunn, the senior here from the Oklahoma City area, who has really earned her leadoff spot throughout her career, Kathy.
Absolutely. She is one of the best leadoff performers on this event. And it's because of her rock-steady nerves and the preparation that goes into being able to lead off a team like Oklahoma on this event. It is all about trust. You trust your training, your talent, and you trust your teammates. When you feel that, you can compete full out. Opens right here with the triple series. Very difficult. The handspring to a layout step out.
I love this story about Jenna Dunn. She's a local athlete, walked on to the Oklahoma Sooners, and here now, finally, in her senior season, has earned a scholarship for one of the best beam teams in the country, Kathy.
Without a doubt. She showed beautiful positions in those leaps and jumps, just full split in the air, nice extension.
Good message for the young girls out there that are watching. Never give up. Here she is now competing in a key spot for the Sooners and delivering again.
And always take it to the finish, as she just did, punctuated. Such a solid routine for Oklahoma, as she has done so many times in her career. Follows through right here, and it's not over till it is over. Big stick.
Well, how about this? Leah Clapper now set to go on floor, the senior originally from Michigan. She has earned her spot in the lineup for the first time this year. Let's go to Sam.
Yeah, she's been injured so far this season, so she finally worked her way back into this lineup. She's been warming up well. I asked, why is she in this first place spot? They said, well, she's a 5th-year senior. She's reliable, she's consistent, and they're hoping job here tonight.
Whoa, just stays in bounds. As long as you don't go over that white line, you're in bounds. It's okay to step on it.
Scores in for Oklahoma's Jenna Dunn in that leadoff spot on beam. It's a 9-9.
Lee has appeared most often in the beam lineup, sometimes in that anchor spot for Florida in previous years.
Yeah, that's really where we're used to seeing her, is in that anchor spot on beam. Great to see her on floor, wrapping up her career here as we're finishing up the regular season. And of course, we have a full postseason lineup on the ESPN family of networks coming up. But this is one of the great regular season matchups of the year, 1 versus 2.
Leah Clapper gets to start Florida off on floor exercise. Her first competitive routine of the season. Good for her.
The senior out of Michigan on one of the finest teams in America. And let's face it, it's hard to make the lineup here with as superb as this team is.
Absolutely. Now, she was a little bit off between those two elements. Didn't quite time that punch in between. But great to see her get this opportunity. And it gives Florida the opportunity to rest some of their athletes that need some rest on floor.
Olivia Troutman already having a spectacular night here for the Sooners, now on the beam.
Like she is on so many other elements in all of her routines. She can focus really like no other. The concentration that it takes to perform on beam when you don't have the reps, when you can't do the numbers. It's that all the training the years before just come into play, and it's muscle memory, but it's also just a mental toughness that she has. Notice that quick, just a slight correction there. She didn't overcorrect when she was slightly off.
Had a knee surgery back in October. This is her 6th time in the lineup on beam for the Sooners.
Such a big part of the success of Oklahoma these past few years. Didn't quite get the stick there, but I can't overstate how impressed I am with her ability to step into a lineup at this point in the season and just be money for them.
She has had so many injuries throughout her career. Great to see her contributing as a graduate student. Will be a part of the Oklahoma scene as they head into the postseason this year for another shot at a national championship. She has contributed a great deal. Lori Brubach now, the freshman from Apopka, Florida, coming after Leah Clapper led off the Gators with a 9.75.
Florida has a lot of depth this year, so a lot of their athletes can perform on the floor. Opens with a front layout to Rudy.
This year for a Brubach on floor. 9.85 is her season high. We got the word just before the competition started today that Florida is resting Trinity Thomas, Sloan Blakely, and Kayla DiCello on floor. So that means those three are not competing in the all-around today, giving an opportunity for some others.
On the first pass, let's see if she can control that landing. Well done. Notice how she kept that front foot planted on the mat as she stepped into the line.
And we go back to beam for the Oklahoma Sooners. Olivia Troutman, a 9.825. Next up will be Jordan Bowers. Let's go to Sam.
Thanks, Bart. Yeah, Jordan Bowers is one of those all-around athletes from Oklahoma that we keep talking about. She is so impressive on every single event. I don't think that she has a bad event, but maybe this event has been more inconsistent than the others. You can see that she just tucked her toe 4 times, and she has a few superstitions that she told me about. That is one of them. She has a couple on the other events as well, and on meet days, she must shower with the same routine. So she was kind of laughing about it, telling me yesterday, and said, it's so much better. I used to have a lot more superstitions. And guys, this is a mental sport, so it's very normal for a lot of these athletes. I used to even have some superstitions as well.
We'll just call it routine, not superstition.
That's exactly what Jenny Rowland, head coach of Florida, told me earlier today about hers. That handspring went out solid. Head coach KJ Kindler said that she's really been impressed with Jordan specifically on this event and noticed just how much work she did this summer trying to get that consistency and confidence on this event, and it's really been showing up this season.
Absolutely. She is ranked tied for 4th on this event with Kayla DiCello. So huge improvement this season. Adds to her all-around performance as well. This is a double twist dismount. See if she can get the landing. There it is. That is a superb routine. You're right, Sam. The confidence in that routine just shows with her every move. So the series, what I liked about this was the form. Judges want to see straight legs throughout the entire series. And this dismount, she did a nice job of keeping the legs together. It's really easy to get those legs crossed in the twisting moves. Well done.
There's a lot of controversy about those stuck landings, but if you land with your feet apart and close your heels together without moving the balls of your feet, it's not deductible.
Good point.
Rachel Bauman now, she is the picture of artistry on this event. She's coming after Lori Brubach at a season high 985.
You mentioned deductible. There are flaws that are deductible. Rachel Bauman has so few, if any. Her footwork is precise. Opens with a difficult combination pass, backline after front full. Notice how high up on toe she works. Strength in her ankles and her ballet training really shows. And the extension, talk about oversplit. On this final pass, it's a double back in height position. Oh, a big bounce. That's too bad. And out of bounds. Oh, the rest of the routine was so good. It's too bad you can't give bonus for the exquisite footwork and the precise form, the polish. Good difficulty on this combination pass because she twists both elements. And these leaps are to die for. They are just way up in the air with perfect split. But right here, the judges are going to have to put pen to paper and take a deduction for the big hop and then a 10th of a point for out of bounds.
See that supplemental mat? The athletes are allowed to use that mat. It's called a sting mat to take the sting out of the ankles. Audrey Davis.
Talk about a beautiful shape. That her flexibility is so extraordinary. She can show it off.
Jordan Bowers had a 995.
Watch how she does her full turn. Kicks out. Not quite as big a kick out as she normally does. And again, the footwork goes up on high toe, straight legs. Oh, slight balance correction there. Balance deductions range anywhere from a 0.05 for barely a correction to a big 3 or 4 tenths for a near fall.
And a 9.95 on bars in the last rotation. 3 times this year she's competed in the all-around for the Sooners, including last week against Virginia. Today just in 3 of 4 events, not in the floor.
Audrey also performs a double twist dismount. Many of the gymnasts do a 1.5 and land facing away.
Oh.
Wow, 2-stop double twist. That you just can't come up with that when you don't have the kind of preparation and training, skills and drills and landing drills. Fantastic.
The last weekend of the regular season brings us some great college basketball games Saturday on ESPN and the app. 2 of the top teams in the Big 12 score off at 4 Eastern with number 9 Texas hosting number 3 Kansas. Then it's Duke and North Carolina, and at 10 Eastern, the top teams in the Pac-12 get after it. Number 4 UCLA hosts number 8 Arizona. Back to the floor now. Peyton Richards coming after Rachel Bauman had a 9.725 after stepping out of bounds in her final tumbling run.
Peyton opens with a double layout. Look for the stretch straight body and stayed in bounds. Requirements on floors to do a tumbling pass with 2 different saltos. They can be directly connected or indirectly. This one is a back 1.5 to a front roll. A difficult combination, earns a lot of bonus. She'll be happy with that. Really nice job. Just a big step on the double layout. Stayed in bounds, but they'll take off for a large lunge there. There it is, right there. Notice how that front foot slid back. She wasn't in complete control, and it was too large to be a perfect and non-deductible landing. But good control there.
Faith Torres up now for Oklahoma. Audrey Davis had a 9.875. Torres 3 times in the all-around for the Sooners this season.
Nice job right here with this wolf jump. That's one of the best wolf jumps on beam that I've ever seen. Very high, clean position in the air, and gets that front leg parallel to the beam.
Freshman from Wisconsin.
Oh. And I love that combination side aerial to layout. So difficult. 0.5 of a point for the fall. She'll get credit. She got both feet on to almost complete the skill. So a good time to remind people that they can drop 1 low score because you count the top 5 scores toward the team score. So of course that is the drop score right now. Nice big double back. So many wonderful elements in that balance beam routine, and it is just punctuated with amplitude. But here's the fall, side aerial. Oh, see, the foot came down on the edge of the beam to take off into the layout. Pretty amazing, actually.
And she kept going for it.
Exactly, and you need to do that because sometimes you can correct and save something out of midair.
Wow. All right. A rare hiccup for the Oklahoma Sooners on the beam. Remember, these 2 teams very close coming into this rotation. Florida gets their first score 9-9 or better on the floor. That's from Peyton Richards. Leanne Wong will be up now.
Okay, this first pass, she does a double Arabian into a stag jump. She's had a little trouble pulling it off as perfectly as she would like. She is a perfectionist. Watch this half turn into a front double. Right into, there it is. That's what she's been working on the last few minutes to try to dial that back.
So far tonight, a 9.95 on vault and 9.9 on bars. She's the only Florida gymnast competing in the all-around. Typically, the Gators have as many as 4 athletes in the all-around.
Very nice precision on those leaps. Her strength is in the lyrical dance. She loves this kind of music. Soft, flowing, elegant. And then strength on the tumbling, back from the half, front full. One of her best routines of the season. She's going to be really happy with that. As I said, she's a perfectionist, and she wanted to compete last week to fix that. And they told her she needed to rest, have the mental break, and look how it paid off. Sky high, perfectly connected, and I love her jumps of her teammates on the sidelines. Oh. You cannot understate how hard these athletes work on all the details of every part of the routine, and when it pays off, it's so wonderful.
Reagan Smith now tied for 12th in the NCAA on this event. She scored a perfect 10 this season at an away meet against Denver.
And someone who really likes to work hard, always improving on the details. She tells her coach, KJ, what can I improve? What little thing can I fix?
Yeah, Kathy, you mentioned that, and this series is something they've been working really hard on, and specifically the weight distribution of the landing. So when she lands, is she absorbing with all parts of her foot? I thought that was really interesting that she's such a student of this event.
Slight little balance, lean correction, we call it. It's a small deduction.
Remember, Faith Torres had just a 9.35, so the Sooners will need a hit here from Reagan Smith to maintain the lead over Florida.
Of course, everyone will remember her nerves of steel at Nationals, pulling off a perfect routine for the win.
Good point, Kathy. Last year at the championships, after not having her best meet, she delivered a 9.9625 to secure the win for the Sooners in that last rotation.
I absolutely love that combination. I love to hear the audience in the arena react to it as well.
Here's an interesting dynamic. Reagan Smith was the all-around champion, expected to compete for the World Championships 2017, sprained her ankle just before the meet. Morgan Hurd steps up and wins the World All-Around title. What a thrilling World Championship, and here it is now. Morgan Hurd competing for Florida, coming back from a knee surgery.
This routine is so big and dramatic. It's filled with difficult leaps. She must complete a full rotation in the air and shoulder position in the air to get credit.
Had to sit out all of last year because of that ACL tear. It's their 6th routine only this year for Florida.
That was a very difficult jump that she's paying special attention to. Look at the flexibility. Perfectly in control. Double pike. Oh, just out of bounds, but a really great landing. I love the way she performs with so much emotion, passion, for the routine, for the music, and yes, that's a 10th of a point for landing out of bounds, but it was a great high double back, nice height, and this first pass, the combination, layout to front full, and her flexibility is extreme. Beautiful back flexibility, split flexibility. The difficulty in her leaps were fantastic. This pass just traveled too far back, the pike double back.
Her teammate before her, Leanne Wong, had an impressive 9.95, and Reagan Smith for the Sooners picked up after Faith Torres had a 9.35, and she delivered another clutch beam routine for Oklahoma, a 9.925. Sam is with their head coach, KJ Kindler.
Thanks, Bart. KJ, before the meet, you told me they came in prepared, they came in loose, but the goal was to be good. Just how good was your team in tonight?
Well, I thought vault was fantastic. Danny Sievers sticking the first ball of the night, that really set the tone, I think, for everything. We've been good. We're doing what we need to do. It may not be our best work on every event, but we're doing what we need to do.
What are you hoping to see from your team on the fourth event?
Honestly, I want them to, end with a bang. I think that they can just knock floor out, then we'll be feeling pretty good.
Thanks, KJ.
Thanks.
A huge crowd on hand at the Lloyd Noble Center, the second largest crowd in OU gymnastics history. The fourth and final rotation between 1 versus 2 when we come back to Norman.